This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, it is a day.
Ma'am, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Yeah. Yesterday class recording class is not opening. It's showing the we are processing this video.
I don't understand what you said. Can you message me?
Yeah, yesterday class recording videos are not running.
Not received or not opening?
Not opening. It's saying we are processing this video. Please try again later.
One moment, I'll ask them. I'll ask to
Okay.
give permissions.
Please. Thank you.
Good evening. Yesterday class notes open out, video open అవట్లేదంట లినక్స్ బ్యాచ్ వాళ్ళు. ఓకే. అది రికార్డింగ్ ఓపెన్ అవట్లేదంట. మెయిల్ చే ఓకే. ఓకే. Jitender, open after 5 minutes and check it. It's still not opening. Just mail to them. Send a mail to them.
Sure. Ma'am. Sure. Ma'am.
My voice is
Ma'am,
audible, Jitender?
yes, audible. I have a question. Is Linux is enough to get a job? Should I learn another thing with this?
కొండారెడ్డి గారు మీకు ఓపెన్ అవుతుందా ఆ ఫైల్?
మ్యామ్ నేను వెరిఫై చేయలేదు. ఈరోజు ప్రాక్టికల్స్ చేసుకుంటున్నాను.
ఓకే. ఓకే. Kondareddy, could not resolve host error is coming, no?
మ్యామ్
మీకు could not resolve host అని మెసేజ్ వస్తుంది కదా
ఎస్ మ్యామ్
నేను ఇప్పుడే చెక్ చేశాను అది మీది ఎం కాన్ఫిగరేషన్ బిఐ ఫైల్ ఉంది కదా మై డాట్ రిపో
ఎస్ మ్యామ్
ఆ ఫైల్ ఒకసారి ఓపెన్ చేసి చెక్ చేసుకోండి అక్కడే ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది ఆ ఫైల్ ఉందా లేదో ఒకసారి చూసుకోండి
ఓకే మ్యామ్ నా సర్వర్ ఒకటి క్రాష్ అయ్యింటే మళ్ళీ న్యూ సర్వర్ క్రియేట్ చేశాను ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయకుండా డైరెక్ట్ ఎఫ్టీపీ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేశాను సో ఇష్యూ వచ్చింది.
నేను ఇప్పుడే చూసాను మీ మెసేజ్
ఓకే ఓకే
మీరు ఆల్రెడీ మెసేజ్ కూడా పెట్టారు నేను చూసుకోలేదు
ఓకే ఓకే నో ప్రాబ్లం.
one moment my VM is stuck The booting process I'll give first, but otherwise all forward. The booting process. We'll discuss about the booting process of our computer. First of all, operating system is the low-level software that manages resources, controls peripherals, and provides basic services to other softwares in Linux. Okay, so booting process is in 6 levels. I will write the points also. It will be helpful. Mm. Systems. It controls all the resources, peripherals, everything, resources. So booting process in Linux, how many stages are there? Means there are 6 stages. One moment.
voice not audible, ma'am. Hello.
BIOS. Yeah. Booting process starts from BIOS, basic input output system. Second is MBR, master boot record. SGRUB, planned unified bootloader. Booting process. When you switch on your computer, the process while booting. First BIOS, second it will enter into MBR, from there it will enter into grub, from there kernel, from there init, and then run. So first is about BIOS. BIOS stands for basic input output system. When you switch on the PC, it may be Windows machine or Linux machine. So first is BIOS. Even in routers also, first BIOS only starts. BIOS means basic input output system. So when you switch on your device, it will check all hardware components. If every hardware component is working fine, then it will enter into next level. Okay, that is any operating system, any hardware device. It may be router also. Even in router also, we have booting process. When you switch on your PC, it will start with some process. So same like that here also in Linux, booting process starts from BIOS, basic input output system. In simple terms, the BIOS loads and execute the master boot record. Everything is fine means then it will enter into master boot record. Everything means all the hardware components are working fine. Then BIOS enters into MBR. So when first we start our computer, the BIOS first performs some integrity checks. Hardware, your hard disk is working or not. SSD you are using or HDD hard disk you are using, means SATA hard disk, PATA hard disk, SSD hard disk, what hard disk you are using, all the hardware components is working or not, everything it will check. Then the BIOS searches for loads and execute the bootloaders programs. It loads the bootloaders programs, which can be found in master boot record. Master boot record means in every hard disk in the first sector, master boot record will be there. Wait, I will write. Basic input output system. BIOS stands for when you switch on the PC. BIOS check for all hardware and hardware components. It will check everything, and then if everything is working fine, then it will check where your OS is there. Sometimes live sometimes what we'll do is we will install live pen drives and DVDs will be there. Operating system will be there in the pen drive and DVD. From there we'll store the data. That is in different cases. Generally we store the data into hard disk only. If the data is stored in if data is installed, sorry, if operating system is installed in hard disk, then it will enter into MBR, master boot record. If the operating system is there in pen drive or DVD, sometimes live installation also will be there. Okay, so directly they will install operating system in pen drives and live DVDs will be there. Operating system they will install in DVD, that is in very rare cases. In pen drives also they will maintain. Hackers will maintain like pen drive also they will use like a hard disk. They will install the operating system and they will use it as a storage device. Okay, that is different concept. So if it is like that means it will enter into that devices if operating system is installed in our hard disk. Generally we install operating system in hard disk only, then it will enter into MBR, master boot record. So MBR is responsible for loading and executing the grub bootloaders. In every hard disk, it may be Windows or Linux, in every hard disk, in the first sector, MBR is there. MBR is located in the first sector of the bootable disk. Okay, so in Linux means in /dev/HDA if it is SATA hard disk. If it is SATA hard disk, it is /dev/SDA. Depending on your hard drive. The MBR also contains information about grub or Lilo. In very old system, Lilo is there. Now it is not there. Now grub is available. In every hard disk, in the first sector, there is MBR, master boot record. MBR contains information of your hard disk, how many partitions are there, how much how much space is utilized, how many operating systems are installed, how many partitions are created, what is the free space of each partition, total available space, how much space we used, how much space is available, all the information is maintained by MBR. In Windows and Linux also, the purpose of MBR is same. In every hard disk, in the first track, first sector, MBR is there. In first track, first sector, MBR is there. It contains hard disk information, total available space, how much space is used, how much space is free. All the information is maintained by MBR only. Okay, so MBR located in the first 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 track, first sector. In every hard disk, first track, first sector. Data is storing in our hard disk in tracks and sectors. So in the first track, first sector, MBR is there. Yes. NBS stands for Grand Unified Bootloader. So it is the bootloader for Linux systems. So when you switch on, if multiple what is the main purpose of this grub means? When single operating system is there, it will enter into that operating system. When multiple operating systems are there, if you install dual operating system, okay, when you switch on your PC, it will splash the two operating systems information. The links it will show. Assume in your PC two operating systems are there. Windows operating system and Linux operating system is there. Grub is responsible to display that information. Windows, Linux, two operating systems information it will show. So if you click on Windows operating system means immediately it will load Windows files and it will send that information to kernel. If you click on Linux means it will load Linux files and it will give that information to kernel. So the main function of grub, it is responsible to give the information. How many operating systems are there? It will show that information. The list of operating system you have, it will display that information. One Next one is kernel. So as you know, kernel is an interface between shell and hardware. Okay. So when something is coming from shell, it will check all the data. If everything is fine, then it will send the information to hardware environment. So we can see, the kernel is often referred to as the core of any operating system. Any operating system, Linux included, it has complete control over everything in your system. Kernel have the complete control over your system. Okay, so kernel. Any Linux operating system. It has as an interface between shell and hardware. Access in it. So your system execute run-level programs. At one point, it would look for an init file. User init files are /etc/init tab to decided the Linux run levels. Kernel after kernel booting process enter into init. It enter into init. Run levels are there in init files. What is the init configuration file means? I'll write about init first. What it will do. System executes run levels.
Ma'am,
And where the run level, yeah,
what does mean run level?
run levels as we discussed in yesterday's class. Init 0, init 1, init 2, init 3, init 4, init 5, init 6. Run levels we discussed, right, in yesterday's class.
That's we
Init 0 is for
used to
shutdown.
start the system.
Right?
Hello.
Yeah, tell
We
me.
used to restart the system like init 0, init 6.
Init 0 is for shutdown. You are there in
Yeah.
yesterday's class?
No, in very first class you taught us this is the two command init 6 and init 0.
Init 0 to init 6 run levels yesterday I explained.
I was not there.
Okay. Run level information. You logged in into which run level? That information is maintained here. By default, run level 5 we use, right? So all the information in which run level you are working, that information is maintained in the file. Wait, write the file because in some interviews they'll ask um, configuration file for init. /etc/init. In this file, Run levels information is there in this file. If you want to check at present in which run level you are, this is the command. I think this command also I gave in yesterday's session. Kernel, we are using VM kernel in Linux, and kernel is an interface between shell and hardware. And whatever the commands is given by, you want to access printer, you want to take scanner, you want to give output printers, you want to access something, you want to create a file, you want to create a directory. When shell is giving these commands, shell checks the commands, then it will send that commands to hardware environment. Okay, and also kernel checks at present in which run level we are. Kernel only checks that information. As per our run level, it will work. As we discussed, run levels are 0 to 6, and where the I will give now. Each of the 6 run levels describes above means different directories. What are they means? If it is init 0 slash etc rc0.d. It will not ask. Now no one is asking this information. Previously they used to ask run level directories also. If you give the command init space 0, immediately your kernel enters into /etc/rc0.d file to open to shut down the machine. Okay, so for troubleshooting purpose, if you are going to run level 1, when you when you want to change your password, means break the password, we are entering into kernel, right? At the time we are entering as a single user. By giving 1, quit space 1 we will give. There we are entering into run level 1, single user mode. At the time your kernel opens the file etc/rc1.zip. If you give command init2, same, /etc/rc2.d, it will enter into this file. Init3, what are the run levels? As we discussed in the last class, rc3. In these files, they will maintain what should do. If someone give the command init space 4, what it should do. If someone is giving init space 3, what it should do. That information is there in that particular files. So this is the booting process. Simple BIOS, basic input output system, execute MBR. Simple understanding. If someone asks you what is the booting process, basic input output system, okay, it execute MBR. MBR, master boot record, execute grub. Grub stands for Grand Unified Bootloader, executes kernel. And kernel, it executes as /sbin/init. Then it will check for init run levels. Init, execute run level programs. Run level programs are executed for from /etc/rc.d. Okay, so simple. Someone asks you what is the booting process? BIOS, MBR, grub, kernel, init, run level. BIOS, basic input output system, it execute MBR. MBR, master boot record, execute grub. Grub, grand unified bootloader, execute kernel. Kernel, execute /sbin/init files. Init means execute run level programs. Run level programs are stored in /etc/rc files. Okay.
Ma'am, run level programs అంటే ఏంటి మ్యామ్?
రన్ లెవెల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ అంటే మన ఇనిట్ 0, init 1, init 2 ఉన్నాయి కదా అవి. init 0 to init 6.
ఓకే మ్యామ్.
DNS, domain naming server, domain name system, domain name server. What is the use of DNS? Any idea? What is the use of DNS? Any idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
IP address. Ma'am, and then to IP address.
DNS is used to convert IP to name and name to IP. It converts IP to name and name to IP. Right. See, what we
My
configure is local DNS.
screen
Hello.
not visible.
Ouch. One more. See. Now, say for example, if you want to execute anything, you want to access anything, first we'll generate the request in our PC. Something you want to access, will generate the request in our PC. In our PC, it will check. If The requested service is available in our computer means it provides the requested service. From our PC itself, we will get the output. If requested service is not available in our computer, it will send the request to server. Okay, see, internally, first it will check for what you requested. If it is available, it will provide the output. If the requested service is not available in our computer, means it will send the request to server, our local server. Okay, see, we have server pieces. Now, you requested something FTP. When you requested something FTP service, it will check locally first. But in your PC, FTP is not there, assume. Then it will send the request to server. In server, FTP service is there. So now it will allow client PC to access FTP service because it is available in the server. Something you are requesting, you need now NFS service. Okay, so when you need NFS service, when you're checking in your PC, it is not available. Now what your PC will do, it will send the request to server. In server, NFS service is available. So your server provides the requested service. NFS it will send to your machine. Okay, done. But this time from your client PC, you're requesting for Gmail. When you are requesting for the Gmail, your system will check internally first. But Gmail server is not available in your system. Gmail is not available in your system. Then what your PC will do? It will send the request to server. Now, when server receives, it will check internally. But in my server also, Gmail service is not available. Now, what our server will do, it will check in domain. It will check in domain where DNS service is available. That it will check in domain. So in domain, it is domain database file. It is maintaining that information. Like DNS, Gmail is there in this particular system. That IP address it will show. Okay, domain DNS is like our telephone directory. DNS server is like our telephone directory. When you open our telephone directory, we can check all the address, the complete address you can check, and the complete address, contact number also you can see, landline number. If you know landline number, if you know the number, you can find the complete address. If you know the complete address, you can find the number because it maintains both in telephone dictionary. Right. So same like that in DNS also, it maintains the complete service name, hosting page name, and to connect to that server, what is the IP address? All the services and their IP addresses information is maintained by DNS database file. It is maintained by service providers. Internet service providers only maintains DNS. If we want, we can create our local database file. Assume you created your own web page, website you created. You want to allow internally only your employees to access that website. So there you can create your own database file and you can give access to your employees. But the main DNS, which contains all the services information, is maintained by service providers only. Okay, so now when you generated any request, it will check internally. If requested service is not available, it will send the request to server. Now server will check in database, DNS data, domain database. Now in the database file, it is showing Gmail is there in this particular IP address. Now what your local server will do is, your local DNS server, what it will do means it will remove the name gmail.com, the request what we generated. It will remove that name and it will assign IP address, Gmail IP address, and it will send the request to Gmail server. Source and destination addresses it will add and it will send to Gmail server. Gmail server provides the requested service to this local server, our local server. When our local server receives this requested service, it will remove the IP of Gmail and it will give Gmail name there because we cannot understand IP addresses. We can understand only name. So for our understanding purpose, it will remove the IP and it will give name and it will send to our client PC. So DNS is used to convert IP to name and name to IP. IP to name is for system understanding, user understanding purpose, and name to IP conversion is for transferring the data from local server to DNS server for sending the request. Now you want to configure DNS. Take screenshot fast. I'll explain this practical.
Done, ma'am. Done. Done, ma'am. 1 minute. Done, ma'am. 1 minute.
So now I want to configure local DNS. Because in last class I showed you how to configure Apache web server. No? So assume you have your local website. You want to configure your local domain. So before installing DNS, I want to check rpm-qa bind star. Already it is installed. DNS package is bind. If you want to install DNS, it requires two packages, bind and cache. So it is already there. I'm removing it. Yum remove bind star hyphen y. Remove configuration files also, which already created previously. Slash name. I already created previously configuration files. I'm deleting that configuration files also. Install bind star cat star hyphen y. Now open the configuration file vspace slash etc slash name.conf and go to line number 11. This is there in your slide. Okay, in line number 11, by default, permission is there for loopback address. 53 is the port number for DNS. Who can access DNS loopback address? Only for local loopback address. Only it means only for TCP/IP permission is there for DNS. Now what I'm doing is 192.168.1.1 my server IP address I'm giving colon. In this PC, I want to access DNS. Allow query. Who can send the request? Only localhost. Only server only can send the request. But now what I am telling is I am giving any. It means anyone can send the request to DNS server. If they want any service, any PC from your domain can the request to server. Which server? 192.168.1.1 machine. Anyone can send the request. You're adding that information. And open the second configuration file /etc/name.rfc1912.zones. In this file, go to line number 19. In line number 19, add your domain name. What is your domain? Mention the domain name here. Example, redhat.in. And information about your domain, where you are going to store. You can give any name. File name can be anything, but not what name we mentioned here. Using the same name, you should create a file to add the information of the domain. I'm giving FOR, like forward lookup zone. Okay. Then go to line number 31. In line number 31, add 3 octets in reverse format. IP address 3 octets. Example 1.168.192. Only 3 octets I'm specifying here in reverse order. Like our IP address is 192.168.1.1, 1.2, 1.3 like that, right? I'm mentioning 3 octets. So it means what? If 3 octets of your client PC is matching, it can send a request. If I mention 2.1.168.192, if I mention like that, only 192.168.1.2 PC can send the request to your DNS server. Remaining PCs cannot send the request. If they want any service, they cannot send the request to this server. That is the reason we are mentioning here 1.168.192. Only 3 octets we are specifying. See, these octets, IP addresses, these all will be covered in CCNA classes, actually, in networking classes. So it means I'm telling anyone where the 3 octets are matching from your IP address, they can send the request to this domain server you're telling. And information about the IP address where you are going to save. Mention the file name here. File name can be anything, but what name we mention here, using the same name, you should create a file. Okay, we should create resources based on by using that file names. Where we create the resources means under cd space /var/named. Here we'll create the resources with the name of vi space for and rev. When I open vi space for, new file is created. But here, if you see, already there are sample files name.localhost and name.loopback. Now what I will do is, instead of writing everything one by one, cp space -rvp space name.localhost. This file I want to copy into FOR. cp space -rvp name.loopback file. I want to copy it into rev. If you see, ls FOR and rev files are created. Now I will open FOR file. Now you can see content in this file. Sample content is added. So now modify this as per your requirement. Go to line number 2. Okay. And here remove up at the rate. And now here enter your hosting space name. Example sys1.redhat.in. Dot. Authenticated user is authorized user is root.redhat.in. Dot. Then go to line number 8. In line number 8, in which PC this sys1.redhat.in is configured. My system name also I give sys1.redhat.in. Okay, now so my the web hosting name I gave is sys1. Where it is configured. In yesterday's class, I configured Apache, right? Where I configured? In 192.168.1.1. Now, if someone is giving shortcut sys1 also, convert into www alias name. Cname means alias name. So if someone is giving in shortcut in browser, if someone is giving shortcut sys1 also, connect it to sys1.redhat.in. You're mentioning like that. Close it. Then open the second file, va space rev. Here also same, go to line number 2 and remove up to at the rate. Oh, one moment. Same here also, sys1.redhat.in. Now root.redhat.in, authenticated user. Go to line number 8. In line number 8, before ns nothing is there. After ns, remove this at the rate and enter your hosting name sys1.redhat.in. Okay, where this sys1.redhat.in is there in 192.168.1.1 machine. Okay, and next remove this line. As of now, I have one domain. What is that means? sys1.redhat.in. sys1.redhat.in. Where it is there in A 192.168.1.1 machine. Here it is there.
Ma'am, what is PTR? Ma'am, what is PTR?
Hello, hello.
What
You're
is
saying something?
PTR?
PTR means pointer recorder. Provides the domain name associated with with an IP address. PTR means point recorder. It provides domain name.
NS means ma'am, what is NS and A? Hello.
Now,
What is NS and triple A?
NS means name server. What is the name server? Name server is sys1.redhat.in, like that.
A means
Associated in 192.168.1.1 machine.
okay. Triple A means ma'am.
Sorry,
Triple A.
triple A. Where it is?
It was you removed it ma'am.
No, no. Previously it is there. No, we removed it. This line. I have sys1.redhat.in in a 192.168.1.1 machine. So network server is addressed in 192.168.1.1 machine. Okay. So if I have another server like www.gmail.com in addressed in 10.0.0.5, example like this, www.facebook.com in a means addressed, where it is addressed, it addressed in something 168.1.2.5 machine, like that. All the servers and their IP addresses they will mention in the domains database file in service providers domain database file. At present I have only one web server Apache we configured in sys1.redhat.in, which is with 192.168.1.1 machine. Only that information I'm adding here because this is my local database file. I have only one web service. So that information only I added here. Now start services. Service named restart. Done. Updated the information to kernel. Now add DNS entry /etc/resolve.conf file. va space /etc/resolve.conf. In end of the page, we should add the entry. It is already there. Namespace server or server IP address. It is already there. Then DNS configuration is completed. But you want to check something you configured in your computer, but you want to check in the browser if someone is giving sys1.redhat.in, if someone is giving like that, it connects to which PC. You want to verify that. So run the command digspace sys1.redhat.in. In the browser, if someone is giving sys1.redhat.in, it connects to 192.168.1.1 machine. No, not with name. If they are connecting with IP address, then check with digspace-x space 192.168.1.1. If someone in browser they are giving 192.168.1.1, it connects to which server? It connects to sys1.redhat.in. Either they give sys1.redhat.in, it connects to 192.168.1.1 machine. If they are giving 192.168.1.1 IP address they are giving in the browser, it connects to sys1.redhat.in, like this, because in the domain we mentioned that information. This is my domain name, which is in 92.168.1.1 PC, like that we mentioned. So that is the reason it connects the particular IP only. And what we created, that is only local database file. In organizations also, we maintain only local database file. If we have our own websites, we will create our own local database files. Okay, and the main database is maintained by service providers only. So this is about DNS. And the slides are there, as per, just follow the slides. All the steps are there in slides, and the notes of booting process I will send to you.
Okay. Uh, Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Is this class is enough to get a job, or should I learn anything another thing?
For the job, come again, ask your question again.
Is this enough to get a job to learn only Linux admin?
Linux knowledge is enough, but if you are learning something like CCNA, MCSE, that is also good. CCNA is basic for every course. All for all the network engineers, CCNA is the basic. But if you have Linux knowledge, that is good enough. You can try for the job. Definitely, you will get the job. But
Thank you,
learn
ma'am.
some basics like OSL layers, IP address. These are the basics. If any networking interviews you are attending, you'll get the questions from basics also.
Yes. Ma'am, when will we learn to troubleshoot of DSCP and DNS?
Sorry?
When will we learn troubleshooting of DNS and DSCP?
Troubleshooting.
Yes. This is the configuring now.
Yeah, you configured that machines. I told you to install it, no?
No, my question is if any user facing any issue on his website, then how can we troubleshoot the DNS?
Yeah. Even I told to Konda Reddy also. I will send all the troubleshoot errors where the errors come some how to troubleshoot that I will send the notes. I mean, some points I will send.
Okay, okay.
That I will send.
Yesterday video is still not opening. I mailed the team.
Sorry, Mr. Don't understand. Acha, yesterday's recording not opened. Eh?
Not opening. Still not opening. I have already
Okay,
mailed to
send.
the team.
Okay, they will send you back. I already informed. They told that try after 5 minutes. If not opening, send the mail. I will inform them. You send mail, right? Even I'll inform to them.
Yeah, I sent the mail half an hour before, but still not get anything.
Okay. I'll inform to them. Again, I will inform to them.
Okay, thank you.
So this is for the Linux sessions. Do the practicals. Any doubts? Let me know. Ping me. And some concepts, some resumes. I think I already sent resumes. Some important questions of Linux and some troubleshooting points. I will send to your group. Also, I will send on your group. Okay. Any queries are there? You can ping me on Telegram group. One moment.
Yeah. Ma'am, I'm
Hello.
still facing issue. Hello.
One moment. One moment.
Okay.
Hello. Namaskar. Yeah, yeah. I'm terminating this session. Yeah.